Welcome to the Jointery podcast, a podcast where we study the lives of study the lives of two dads trying to find the balance between the families, hobbies and work. This week on the Jointery, we discover
whatever is in you that you're worried about coming out. I'm not looking forward to it.
Let's search for the meaning of life as it had never been witnessed before. The Jointery podcast.
I'm recording.
Okay, now I'm recording.
We haven't started? This is it, right? No notice, no prep. Let's go. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
We're professionals.
Yep.
Wait, so what happened?
It was a car accident. It's just
How bad was it?
3 cars piled up, multiple ambulances, multiple fire trucks, blocking the 4 left lanes of the freeway. And they were pretty banged up. The cars were pretty banged up. But
and how much time did that add to your trip?
40. I was in traffic for like 40 minutes.
What would it normally have taken?
I should have been back within an hour, like both ways. You know what I mean? There and back. And it took me. I left before 10 and I got home at 12. So it took me almost 2 hours.
So what you're saying is you would have been late either way.
I would not have been late either way. I would have made it here. I would have made it here by 11. It would have taken me an hour to get there and back. I left before 10. I would have been back before 11.
You said it would take you. It took you an extra 40 minutes, but you're an hour late.
Yeah.
All right, you ready to get it together so we can have a podcast?
I guess so. I'm just
do you need
frustrated.
Do you need to get one of those back massager things?
No. I'm fine. I hate being late for things. You know what I mean? It's like one of my most annoying things, my self-annoyance. You know what I mean? My pet peeves is just being late, and I hate it. So as soon as I know I'm going to be late, I immediately start to get pissed off, and it's just like, yeah.
Well, I'm here to make you feel better about being late because you're so fucking late.
I know. I know. I was over an hour late. So
it's okay.
I apologize.
I'll never forgive you. This is our last podcast.
I know. I figured as much.
But I mentioned that massage thing, and it made me think of Jackie. Has my wife? Has she never really talks passionately about physical objects?
Yeah.
Right? Family,
yeah.
kids, loves it. House, neighborhood, whatever. But I heard her on the phone with somebody, and she was like, she's going on this girls' trip in a week, and she's like, oh, yeah, I'm bringing my boyfriend. And I was, and I've never heard my wife say that, and I'm not the least bit worried that my wife has a boyfriend.
Yeah.
So I just kind of looked over. She was like, and she looks at me. She gives me a head nod. She goes, "The Thera Gun."
The Thera Gun.
Do you know what the Thera Gun is?
Is that the one with the ball at the end? That
yeah, it's like a really soft jackhammer.
Yeah.
Handheld jackhammer. So she had some leg pain or something, and she'd use that. My friend had one. She used it on her leg.
Uh-huh.
And she said it felt so good that she used it so long it actually bruised her leg.
Oh, Jesus.
Dude, she probably used it for 2 hours straight. I'm until the batteries ran out on it. So
that's a bit intense. I think that's maybe a little much.
Yeah. But this thing, it would not be, I don't think it would be that great of a sexual toy because it's just mostly punching,
Yeah. Just
for anybody. It's not that kind of. I don't know what kind of attachments you could put on the end of that thing.
So maybe
it would be a sex toy.
You're not jealous of the Thera Gun, is what you're telling us.
The Thera Gun's taking some weight off my shoulders, man. An hour-long massage is exhausting.
Yeah,
for anybody, giving it or receiving it.
I don't know. And receiving an hour-long massage.
First of all, are you a massage guy? Do you get massages?
No, not at all. I've actually never been to a massage place to get a massage.
Neither have I, dude. I don't know. I just don't like the idea of somebody that I don't know touching me for a straight hour. Like I don't, like I get psyched up before I go to the doctor because I know that she's gonna check some shit. And I'm like, just be ready, bro. Her hands are gonna be cold. It's gonna suck.
Yeah, no, I've never done the massage. I don't know. For me, I guess I've just, I don't know. It's not necessarily like a weirded out by somebody touching me thing. It's not something I want to spend my money on. I guess I don't feel like I, want to spend money on that. I guess I don't know. I have no reason to know that.
Do you think like we're missing out because like some people swear by him?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I should try it. Maybe I would. Maybe actually, though, I'm scared to try it now because maybe I'll like it too much. And then I'll be like spending all my money on massage. Debbie be like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I got to get another massage. She's like, and I know that there's like some sort of stigma with the massages and the way the massages end. And
with the happy ending,
if they're happy or not. And,
dude, we clicked the explicit podcast button when setting this up. You could talk about that in length if only adults are listening.
Yeah. No, the happy ending thing, I think that would be also something that would be a little worrisome and cause some sort of problems in the marriage life. Like, was it a happy ending? Was it not a happy ending? I want mine to be a miserable ending. Don't want it to be happy because then, the wife might get upset. So how do you end a massage badly so it's not a happy ending? That's the question.
I mean, so you wanted to deliberately have an unhappy ending? It's like right at the end, the lady just gets up on a stool and then elbow drops you in the middle of the back, and you're like, "Oh, son of a bitch!" It's like there you go, unhappy ending.
I swear, baby, it was an unhappy ending massage. I swear.
I ended this in more pain than it started. This sucks. But though I do have the most ridiculous happy ending story. It's not me getting happy ending. I've never even gotten massages. I'm sure at some point I've been massaged, but I never went to a massage parlor.
Yeah.
But back when I was in my 20s, dude, this guy I was hanging out with, I'm afraid people might know this person if I talk too much about it. I won't describe who he is. Anyway, somebody I know, really loved partying all night long. And then ended up at a massage parlor, right, in the morning. Like, he'd go get breakfast after partying all night and then go to the massage parlor when it opens up at 9 and get a happy ending. And then, and then he'd either go home and go to sleep or he'd just pull another full day all-nighter,
Yeah.
So this dude was so hammered, though. He rolled in there with another buddy of mine, two of them. And, they go back in there to get massages. And, the one guy comes out and, he got a happy ending and he was just, by the way, I can't even mentally wrap my head around getting a happy ending. More like even just talk about it. I'm like I would be so nervous. I'd be like, okay, now I'm going to give you the happy ending. I'd be like, oh God.
Do you have to ask for that too? I mean, do you have to ask for that, or is it just are certain places? I mean, because I'm assuming there's places that don't do that, and then there's places that do that. So, how do you know the first time you go to one of those places that it's one of the places that does do that? And how do you bridge that transition? How do you talk it? I mean, do you just straight out ask for it? I mean, are you saying
it's gotta be like becoming a drug dealer where somebody's got to vouch for you, right? I don't think you can walk in and be like, yo, I don't know. And maybe there's a secret knock or something, or because I know a buddy of mine told me that if you go to a restaurant in Chinatown after midnight and you ask for cold tea, they bring you a pitcher of beer, right?
Okay.
Because I guess in Chinatown they don't drink iced tea, right? So they're like I'll take a cold tea, and they bring out a pitcher of beer, right? So it's like a secret menu item, but for alcohol. But there's got to be I don't know. Anyways, so this dude, right? So the two guys are in there. One guy comes out. He's like, I'm good to go, and he's waiting for the other guy to come out, right?
Yeah.
And he's just going and going. He said it was 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour. He goes at 45 minutes into it. All of a sudden, he saw some commotion in the back, right?
Yeah,
something was happening, right? And then some lady came out, and she looked really upset, right? And then he said 20 minutes later, or 15 minutes later, the guy came out, and he was like, all right, let's go. He's like, what the hell took so long? And he looks at they look at each other. He says the other, he's just like, Well, they had to call in a reliever because the pitcher's arm got tired. And I was like, oh, my God. Like, how fucked up were you, bro? Like, this is ridiculous.
He's all, bring in the lefty.
Yeah, he's like, there's this cute Asian girl who spent, like, freaking 40 minutes working on him, and she got tired. So they bring in, like the closer, like if Sue can't get it done, then like forget it,
Oh my God, dude.
Oh God, he was like she was not attractive, but she got the job done, and I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm like, I don't know if I could ever talk about this. We should probably just edit this whole story out of the podcast because it's just so stupid. I'm like, oh my God, like I wasn't there. I don't hang out with either of these dudes now today, but like, at the time it was like, whoa, like Jesus Christ.
Oh man, this is definitely I'm glad we have this explicit mark on this podcast.
Yeah. Anyways, besides the traffic, how's your week been, dude? Like, we haven't been talking much this week.
I know it's been coming off the long week working. I've been trying to get my house back in order and stuff.
Yeah.
Because Debbie was working full time, the kids were here, Gma was here with the kids, and when Gma was here with the kids, it's just like she's doing her best just to manage, so everything just kind of gets kind of tossed to the side as far as like
she's like a substitute teacher.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, look, I'll watch your kids, I'm not cleaning up after them, I'm not like they're gonna do what they do. And so this week, Monday, Tuesday, I just basically spent the first 2 days kind of putting the house back together and doing stuff around here. But yeah, no, everything's good, man. Just trying to get back out here in the shop and do some stuff. And I did a fun thing yesterday. I channeled my inner Roy from Vintage Axe Works, and I busted out the draw knife and tried to shape a handle for a mallet and like an axe, kind of like an axe handle.
Yeah.
And that was so much fun, man. I don't do a lot of hand tool work, so like when I, decided yesterday to do it, I busted it out, and man, it was just so much fun. It's like, there's nothing like, grabbing the knife and just start, shaving that wood off, and, you get these nice big curls coming up after you, coming at you. I can't talk right now, but yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, man. I think I'll be doing more of it here in the future, because
yeah,
it was just it feels like like getting back to the roots of woodworking, you know what I mean, like really, a blade and a piece of wood and kind of just going for it, and it was fun. It was a good time.
That sounds amazing, but I have no interest in going back to the roots of woodworking. I'm like, if it doesn't plug in, it's probably not for me. I'm like,
yeah, no, that's the difference, I guess. I mean, I do enjoy the technology and everything, but there's something about that, getting that blade out and, just running it through the wood, man. It's got a real tangible, like, enjoyment in it,
I bet it was really satisfying. I might try it one day, but right now I'm just like, let's go.
Yeah, for you, I can see, you want to get things done as quickly and easily as possible, and something about adventure for you in the technology. I think that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like the 3D printing and the CNC, and
the more I build and the more I do digital stuff, I realize I think it's about the design more than it is about the execution. Whereas I really like designing things, and I enjoy making them, but like figuring out how they all are going to work together. I think I like that part more. Like this TIE Fighter table I'm working on. Holy hell, dude. I mean, I thought I spent a lot of time trying to get that mallet dialed in, right?
Yeah.
The sledgehammer. This has just been a feat.
Have you actually started working on it? Like actually physically started working on it? I know you've been doing a lot of programming and stuff and designing, but have you cut anything yet?
I was so close last weekend, where I basically had put a piece of plywood onto the table, and I brought up the G code and I thought to myself, I'm like, I should check the thickness of the wood, and that's when I realized I was like, oh my god, I programmed this thing off of 3/4 of an inch, and I'm like, it's like 0.68 inches or whatever plywood is, and I was like, it's just like, oh my god, like it meant that basically everything that I was going to try to do from there on was going to be bad, right?
Yeah.
Because I've said, fuck it, let's just go before, and I know how that road ends. I've been down that road, so I was like, what I ended up, I bought the wood for it. So,
all right.
I bought the wood for the body of it. So the wings, I pretty much have completely worked that out, and I'm not worried about that at all. It's actually really simple. It's the body that's complicated because, like, finding where to slice, because I'm making it in slices, so it's like 8 slices glued together.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's pretty tricky, and I don't know how it's gonna carve, and I'm using like $60 worth of poplar. I'm like, so if I just blow all this wood, like it's not like I could just take part of a TIE fighter and just, use that wood to make something else. Like,
yeah. So when you anticipate redesigning and getting started?
This weekend. So I've add the word "re" in there 13 times.
Yeah,
and that's how many times but basically. Sometimes, like when I'm not sure about this stuff, I send it over to Luke Smith from PLS, Smith, PL Smith, and because I'll have him look at my, we work on a lot of these rando projects together, and I have him look at my G code because the cam tooling stuff, and he really likes that stuff. So this one, I think I got it done, but like I don't know, I'm like 90. I'll be ready by the weekend. All that.
Nice.
So I just gotta mill up some wood tomorrow to the right thicknesses, and then I'm good to go.
So what's the total time frame once you start building till when it's going to be done? How long do you think?
I would say it's probably going to be about 12 hours of carving.
Okay.
Right? For the body of it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's where it's going to be at now. I don't know yet because my freaking computer is old and Fusion doesn't. It's surprising how poorly it likes the idea of taking a model that's supposed to be 3D printed and then slicing it up and carving it with a CNC. That it doesn't like that. So, oh my god, my microphone just fell. But yeah, so it doesn't seem to really enjoy that, so I don't know. I'll get it done this weekend. Because it's got to, like,
you got to wait on Luke to send you the code back, right? To check after he checks it, and then to know that you're good to go.
Yeah, and like most of the time he looks at it, he's usually like, yeah, that's fine. Like, why are you sending this to me? But I'm like, hey, he just had a baby, so he's sitting at home, looking at a house plant with that, a cute kid, and he's just like, feed, poop, nap. Okay.
Yeah, he's in the pet rock stage where they don't do anything except for exactly where you set them. That's the best part. That's the best stage though, because you can set them down, walk away, and do whatever, and they're still going to be sitting right there when you come back.
I mean, that's nice.
It is nice. It's better than when they can walk and crawl and you're chasing them around, and it becomes a nightmare.
Well, I think my favorite stage is like the right at like 6 to 8 months, where like you could put them down and they don't fall over, right?
Oh yeah.
And like they'll just like play with what's within arm's reach.
Mm-hmm.
But then at like 10 months they start crawling, and then 5 years later they're just telling you how bad of a dad you are. I got told this week by Bubs that the neighbor's dad is his favorite dad, and that he's a much better dad than I am.
Wow.
It was savage. What was funny was like the neighbor had told me first, because we're waiting for our kids at the bus stop, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, Bubs told me, he's like, he said something like, he's like, I had to do something, and it was just Bubs and his daughter, right? And he's like, well, let me just throw iPads in their hands so they don't burn down the house while I'm doing this thing, right? So like they're both sitting there watching like YouTube Kids.
Yeah.
And Bubs looks at him and I only have like 2 or 3 rules when kids are over, and one is no devices, because I'm like, hey, look, you guys are 5 and 7. You do not need to be on an iPad when your friends are over. I'm like, you should be talking to them and playing with them.
Yep.
I'm like, that's one of my rules. And he's like, Bubs told him, he's like, my dad won't let us watch devices when our friends are over. So you're a better dad than he is. And like I turn to Bubs and I'm like, yo, like, you told him I'm a better dad that he's a better dad than me? And Bubs is like, yeah, like, duh.
Dude, the hate is real, bro.
Like, you son of a. Well, he's bummed out this week because he's been punished for 3 days, no TV. This
Wow.
is big punishment. For he's been cutting his clothes with scissors.
Ooh, yeah, that's.
So,
You got to put a stop to that real quick.
yeah, it's I don't know, but he's Bubs has been in, like, I feel like a weekly, like, this podcast is like, here's your weekly Bubs update, and then like, what did I eat this week? It's like the main meat of this podcast, because goddamn, that kid has been out of control, man. Like, my brother-in-law came to pick up that cutting board,
Yeah.
right? And like, he texted me when he was leaving the house. I know it takes him about 30 minutes to come over.
Yeah.
Right? And like 20 minutes after he texted me, Bubs is running around the house with no clothes on. Right?
That's normal for him, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very normal. Like, I don't. There's never been a day that I have not seen him naked. Right?
Yeah.
Unless he was like sleeping out. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like 5 minutes ago, I'm like, Bubs, you gotta put some clothes on, and he's like, no. And like, sure as shit, like 5 minutes later, doorbell rings, Elvis goes insane, which he's been my other problem child this week.
Yeah.
Elvis goes insane, and like, I hear Ellie open the front door, and I hear my brother-in-law like, hey, Ellie, what's going on? And he looks at, and I can hear him, and he sees Bubs, and he's like, whoa, and like, you are naked. He's like, hi, Uncle Brian, and Brian's like, you gonna put some clothes on? He was like, yeah, but hi. And I'm like, give him a hug, Bubs.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, Frankie has a problem with clothes sometimes, but not doesn't seem as often as Bubs, man. Bubs is an exhibitionist. It seems like
it really is, man. I mean, like, like, if you've been over to my house 3 times, you've seen Bubs naked. Like, like, all of my close friends have seen Bubs naked. Everybody who lives near us has probably seen him naked. He used to. Did I mention? I don't know. Like, it's hard. So we've had so many conversations.
Yeah.
I don't know what we've talked about on the podcast versus not on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there used to be this neighbor girl who was like, when he was like 2, she was like 4. And he kept telling her, like, let's go into the house. And then he'd go up to the house and she'd want to like play with his toys. And while she was playing with his toys, he'd get naked. And then like my buddy who I was hanging out with, like, I go in there like, whoa, Bubs, like, you gotta put some clothes on, man. And I look at him, I'm like, sorry, Bubs is naked. He's like, in front of my daughter again? I'm like, yeah, man. Like, it's like,
oh Jesus, maybe he'll get it figured out by high school.
That's when it's gonna get worse.
Yeah, that's probably right. He'll be doing it extra intentionally but you got to that's it gets a little creepy at that point. You got to make sure you explain to him that he needs to ask permission first before.
I mean, I'm gonna have that conversation with him, and I can tell you right now, he's gonna look me dead in the face and be like, I don't care.
Oh man. So so that's my shop time this week has been pretty cool. I mean, I actually had some shop time, which is nice. I did the handle that I did yesterday. I did a cutting board the day before that I tried to do some crazy magnet thing with for a knife holder. That did not work out.
That looked cool.
I've had numerous people reach out to me though and explain to me different ways to do it, to go about it, to make it work, or better ideas to try and make it work.
That's nice.
But just being out here in the shop has been great, dude. It's just been so nice. I've missed it.
When people give you those tips, are you going to actually use one of their tips? Or are you just like, thanks, but no thanks?
No, I mean, if it's I mean, I had numerous people send me different types of magnets, which was nice. And then I had my friend Jen S. She's a local to me out here in Riverside. She told me if I stack the rare earth magnets, that if you stack 2 or 3 of them together, that the power, the intensity of the magnetic, it makes it stronger.
Really?
Yeah, that's what she said. I swear to God, talking about magnets, I sound like such a moron. Yesterday, I was trying to explain magnets on my stories, and I'm like, why am I such an idiot that I can't explain
Dude, I have
magnets
right here. I'm gonna try this right now.
Yeah, she said if you stack 2 or 3 of them together, it'll make them stronger. So because that's what she does with her knife blocks that she makes and so she will stack 2 or 3 of them, and then but you got to make sure you just with the polarities, you got to make sure you have them the right way, because I guess if you stack them the wrong way in groups of 2 or 3, it could affect the polarity or something. I don't know. I need smarter people.
That works, dude. I mean, I'm doing it with tiny magnets. Elvis is trying to break in. He's trying to nose his way into my office right now. Not after the bathroom deal, Elvis. Chill, man.
Oh man, I keep thinking about that bathroom story you told us last week, and dude, it's just so funny, man. I've had numerous people reach out to me this week and be like, "Yeah, my wife does the same thing," or "Oh, Ben, I totally feel you, man."
I do like that is probably one of my favorite parts of this podcast is we tell these ridiculous stories,
Yeah.
And then like people hit you up and they like immediately volunteer like, well, here's my bathroom habits. Check this out.
Yeah.
Wait, have you been getting a lot of people sending you food stuff too?
Oh yeah. In fact, speaking of food stuff, I had a conversation on Clubhouse this week which is funny because it was like me, Jeff from Green Street, Keith from Blackthorn Concepts, and somebody else was in there, and like all of us are now have our own podcast. So we were all talking about it. It was just funny. Like, but no, we talked about Clubhouse. We talked about hamburgers, and they we were talking about sandwiches. I mean, that was the main topic. It was about sandwiches, but it got to what kind of sandwich would you be, or which is a question I have for you. And then the other one was, is a hamburger a sandwich?
Yes.
Are you you're answering me? Yes, it is a sandwich.
You weren't asking me that question, or you?
No, I was just stating that's what the question was. But now you're answering yes, it is. You think it is?
100%, dude. Yes, you don't.
A hamburger is a hamburger. If it was a sandwich, we wouldn't be calling it a hamburger. We'd be calling it a hot sandwich.
No, dude.
It has its own name, just like a hot dog. Okay, is a hot dog a sandwich?
I mean, but a Reuben has its own name, or like a PB&J has its own name.
Yeah, like, I guess so. But is it okay? Here's what the other argument I'm going to make. It has a specific bun type, right?
That's not true.
What are you talking about? When you go to buy a hamburger, you buy hamburger buns. You don't buy bread to put on a hamburger. Yes, there are patty melts that you use bread, but that's not a hamburger. That's a patty melt.
So you're saying because it has a specific
I'm saying okay, let's just break it down.
Okay, wait.
What is a sandwich?
I think a sandwich is something between 2 slices of bread, because hamburgers might have their own specific bread, but that's only because a cheeseburger is probably the king of sandwiches. Right? Like if you're like at a music festival, there'd be the burger stage, and then there'd be like the sandwich stage.
So is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yeah. But a taco, even though it's very similar, I don't think a taco is a sandwich because it's not bread; it's a tortilla.
It's a type of. See, I don't think so. I think if you're going to eat a hamburger on bread, it's no longer a hamburger anymore. To me, it's now patty melt, something else. A hamburger needs to be on a hamburger bun. A hot dog needs to be in a hot dog bun. they're specific to that item.
Wait, so if you are sitting there and you're like, yeah, I want to have a burger for lunch, right? And then partway through cooking that burger, you're like, you know what would be, this would be great if I did grilled cheese sandwiches as the bun for this, right? Because I've seen those before, right?
Grilled cheese sandwiches?
Yes, dude, it was on that. It was one of those ones on the Jack in the Box menu. It's it's a mainstream deal, right? Like it's not like all of a sudden that burger is no longer a burger, because you put it on square bread,
I don't know. I think a hamburger is a hamburger and a sandwich is a sandwich. I think there's got to be some sort of definition between the two things. There's got to be some sort of, it can't. It's just madness. Otherwise, it's just madness.
Look, it's like a Chihuahua is still a dog, right? Like if you look at a Great Dane, you could say like, well, a Great Dane's closer to a horse than it is to, a golden retriever, right?
Yes.
But it's still a dog. Like at the end of the day, like regardless of its form factor,
I don't know. I just think that you go to a burger joint, you're ordering a hamburger or a cheeseburger. You're not ordering a sandwich. One of their arguments was which I thought was a weak argument, is you go order a burger at a fast food joint and they say, do you want a combo or just the sandwich? And I was like, that's BS. Just because that's the word they used.
I mean, that is dumb, because a combo in Chicago is putting an Italian sausage on an Italian beef sandwich. Like it's also a combo meal.
Well, that's what I mean. A combo meal. They're saying like if you want to order a combo meal, they're going to ask you, do you want a drink and fries with that, or
that's
just
stupid? Because at
just
McDonald's,
sandwich?
Dude, I could get chicken nugget combo meal. That doesn't mean nuggets are now a burger.
No. You're missing the point. The point is
completely.
The point is that they're saying that they're arguing that because the person at the drive-thru calls it a sandwich, that means a hamburger is a sandwich, not the combo. The combo is irrelevant. They're just saying because it's labeled a sandwich by people who you order from, they go, they ask you if you want a sandwich, if just the sandwich. And I'm like, that's such a stupid argument. The argument that I'm trying to make is a hamburger is specifically made in a bun. You buy it at a hamburger joint. Do they have sandwich? I mean, like, they're not selling hamburgers at Subway, right? There's a difference. They're not selling hamburgers at certain places
because they don't have a grill top.
Oh, come on.
They got a crock pot. That's all they got, man. That's all Subway has, is like a crock pot or whatever the commercial.
You guys out there, tell us what you think. Send us on our phone number, on our text line, which I don't know by heart. But you should, at the end of the episode, listen for the text line number.
Yeah.
And you guys can send us your thoughts. Is it a hamburger or is it a sandwich? Is it just meat between two pieces of bread that qualifies a sandwich, or is there more to it?
Or send us a message on Instagram. So at the Joinery Podcast. But anyways, I do have a question though. How do you take your burger? What is the right burger? What comes on the right burger for you? Like bread, meat, everything else. How is your ideal burger situation?
Yeah, I don't know. I prefer like a Western burger. Like if I'm gonna get a burger,
with like a Chipotle mayo on it.
No, like a barbecue, like out here we have like a Western bacon cheeseburger that has like the bacon, the cheese, the onion rings, and the barbecue sauce. Like that's probably my favorite burger. I'm not a mayonnaise guy on burgers. I know some people are. I don't like mayonnaise on burgers personally. There's something about hot mayonnaise that kind of grosses me out. But yeah, I don't know. I prefer like a Western burger. That's my choice if I had to choose.
Yeah,
What about you?
I'm purist, man. Just some nice thick slice of cheddar cheese, some thick cut bacon. I do think bacon is good on burgers.
Bacon, yes.
And like a brioche bun. And I'm just doing like ketchup and mustard, man. That's it. Oh, and pickles. That's the only vegetable I'll put on. There's pickles.
Outside of the Western burger, which is what I prefer, if I'm gonna just make like a home burger, like just ketchup, mustard, cheese. Just simple, easy peasy. If I have bacon, I'll throw bacon on there because bacon goes on everything.
Yeah.
It's just the best thing ever. But yeah, for me, ketchup, mustard, cheese, bacon is like a standard, homemade burger. But if I'm going out somewhere and I can order off the menu and they have some sort of Western burger, that's what I'm going with.
Do your kids freak out when there's bacon?
You mean, do they like bacon?
No, like do they freak out?
Like
my kids. Like I make. Have you ever had a Dutch baby?
No, what's that?
It's like a pancake, but it like fluffs up. So like you basically make a pancake batter, which is really simple to make. It's like egg, butter, cheese, whatever, milk. You mix it up, and then you set the oven to like 450, and then you pour the whole batch of batter into a cast iron pan that has butter in it, and then you slide it in the oven for like 17 minutes, and it poofs up where like the top gets light and crispy, but it's still like a quarter-inch thick pancake on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I make these. Chrissy Teigen is the recipe I use.
Oh wow, fancy.
She's a great cook, and her and John Legend are a cute couple. But
I love his voice. Anyways.
Yeah, I always forget it's him though when he's singing. I'm like, oh man, this guy's great. Who is this? And Jackie's like, it's John Legend. I'm like, that's right. It's John Legend. I knew that. But yeah, so I make that, and like when we have bacon, I'll make the bacon, and like there is a hard negotiation where everybody has to have the same amount of bacon, otherwise like it is completely unfair. So like I have to cook bacon in multiples of 4. So it's either 4 slices, 8 slices, 12 slices.
Yeah.
Or there's no point in cooking bacon. So
we do sausage a lot here because my kids are big on this breakfast sausage. And so I do always probably more sausage than bacon because my kids like bacon, don't get me wrong, but they just always preferred sausage, I guess. And so whereas me, I will buy a whole thing of bacon and make it all myself and just put it. How do you cook your bacon too? Do you cook it in the oven or do you cook it on the
oven?
Oven's the best. I also use an air fryer recently to cook bacon, and that was amazing.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
I've made bacon in my smoker. That's probably my second favorite way to do it. So bacon undergoes this insane transformation when you cook it in a smoker, where I don't know. I can't even put words to describe it. But if anybody listening to this has a smoker at home, I could not more highly recommend you taking a full thing of bacon and throwing it in there on a sheet pan because you don't want that bacon grease to get everywhere. But, whoo, man, that's good.
Dude, I'm getting hungry, man. What kind of sandwich would you be if you were a sandwich? Since we're talking about sandwiches, if there was a one sandwich called, and you're the Luke, what would it be?
Yeah. Man, that is such a hard, because like, I don't subscribe to favorites of things, right?
Yeah.
Like my opinion changes so often.
Yeah.
Like I could tell you my favorite movie franchise, but I couldn't tell you like, I could rank those movies, but like even my favorite movie franchise it goes back and forth between Star Wars and the Fast and the Furious. So
yeah.
But yeah, so if I was a sandwich, man, like today, I would probably. So there's this. Hot or cold? Because I would give you a different answer for both.
Let's go hot, because I prefer hot sandwiches.
Hot, I would probably say, I would just steal the Mac sandwich, which is this. It's a skirt steak on French bread.
Ooh.
And it has those crispy onion strings and some giardiniera, right? And then there's either I'll put like barbecue sauce on it or A1 sauce.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like A1 sauce. I'm a big fan of A1.
Have you ever had HP sauce?
Not that I know of. What's that?
It's like basically the British version of ketchup. I'm probably I have a lot of followers in Europe, and I'm probably gonna get corrected on this.
Oh, they're screaming! They're screaming at you right now.
Yeah, but HP sauce, it's like if you mixed ketchup and A1 sauce together.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Kinda.
I love both.
Really, like you would be like, is this barbecue sauce? Is this steak sauce? And they like when you eat in restaurants in London, I know for sure, like instead of like ketchup and mustard on the table, it's HP sauce.
Oh, okay.
So,
Since we're talking food and steak sauce and stuff, do you put steak sauce on your steaks? Are you one of those people? Will you eat
No.
A1 on a steak, or is it just the meat?
I usually put A1 on things that aren't steak. So, because steak, I pride myself in how awesome my steak is, and it does not need sauce.
There you go. I was just curious.
Yeah.
I unless the steak is not cooked well, I will go no sauce, obviously. But there's been certain situations where I've had to bust out the A1. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what sandwich would you be?
I think I would be probably a hot pastrami, just because that's like, dude, that's like literally one of the best sandwiches in the world, right? I mean,
I completely agree with you.
It's just so, it's like perfect. It's just got that saltiness. It's got the dense meat, or the thickness of the pastrami, and my phone's going off. I'm a professional. But yeah, I love the pastrami, and it's got to be on the right side, the right kind of roll too. Those you know what they're called? The amorosa, the freaking.
I don't know, because I usually get pastrami on rye.
Oh, you do it on rye bread, huh? Oh, I like a roll. I like a roll with the pastrami.
Because the only place you could get it here is at like a Jewish deli, and they are not known for their bread varieties there.
Yeah.
Everything comes on rye bread.
Dude, I love a good deli, man. I freaking love a good deli.
I love a good Jewish deli, and I love a good Italian deli.
Yeah. What's the difference? I mean, other than
everything. I mean, there is almost zero overlap in the two. So, like a Jewish deli, you're talking about corned beef and pastrami and lox and cream cheese and bagels and things like that. Whereas an Italian deli, it's like cured meats and cured cheeses and Italian breads and I
think there's a crossover with the pastrami, though, right?
I've never had pastrami at an Italian.
Oh, really?
No.
There's a spot out here in LA called Langer's, which is they I guess it is more of a Jewish deli, actually. Now that I think about it,
if they have matzo ball soup, it is for sure a Jewish deli.
Yeah, I think you're right. Now that I think about it, I don't know why. I always thought of it more as an Italian deli, but now that I think about it, I think you're right.
But my favorite Italian deli sandwich is a prosciutto with mozzarella, basil, and oil, and that's it.
People are gonna hate us. This podcast.
And again, giardiniera, because giardiniera is the king of condiments.
Giardiniera. I love it. Earlier in this year, was it last year when you were talking about that? You bought some and you actually shipped it out to people.
Yeah. Because when people are like, I don't know about that, it sounds stupid. I'm like, here, I'm gonna spend $10 to prove you wrong, and then we can move on from there.
I love it, dude. That was in the coffee milk Pagines, that whole era that we were talking about last week.
Dude, I have an Amazon affiliate shop or whatever, and in it I have giardiniera with Pagines and Lou Malnati's pizza, like
Oh Jesus, man.
Oh, and the I have something in there that I want to buy. I want to try, where it's the all crust brownie pan.
Oh, you told me about that. Yes.
Yeah,
I think that would be amazing. I'm a big fan of the crust of the brownies, so I think that's a great idea. That's a great idea. What's going on with you in your shop this week, man? I know you've been super busy. We'll stop talking about food, because I know everybody out there is like, every time they're like, you make me so hungry every time.
Yeah, it's because we're starting the Never Miss a Meal Club. That's it.
True.
So
that's true.
Look, if you're listening to this and you like eating and you don't like skipping meals, like, you're gonna hear about some food. It's gonna happen. But no, my shop has been, it's been hard this week because, oh my God, it's blizzarding here.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I just looked out the window and it's like blizzard. But yeah, so I have been, during the week, I've been working on that Archer sign, the one out of epoxy, and I really feel like I dialed it in pretty well. So now I am, once I finish this one, I'm going to do another one of like a different show. I'm going to do a bunch of quotes, I think. But I think it's fun. It'd be cool to decorate my office with it, and it's funny. Like the first one I did, I realized that like the quote I picked was Archer saying, "Well, joke's on you. I didn't learn anything."
Yeah.
And like I learned a ton doing this, so it's like
that's so funny.
that's not really true. It's like I did learn a lot. So so I've been working on that, and I've been getting ready for the TIE Fighter table, and I've been getting ready for I'm making more of those pattern plywood mallets.
Oh, and you finished that box this week.
And I finished that box for my friend, which she just loved it, and its story about how it came out of the building that exploded. Like,
yeah,
it was so cool. And that whole article, I don't know if I sent it to you.
You did. You sent it to me. You did.
Yeah, where it's like the Hell's Angels blew up the building. I'm like, that is so badass. And her son's 3, but he's a total badass. So I was like, yeah, and his nickname is Bash. So like,
what a great nickname.
Yeah, I'm like, so his name's Sebastian. So, but Bash is he's a cool dude. So and my kids, they individually they like him more than their actual siblings. So it's like Bubs likes him more. Like if we're all together, much. Yeah. Bubs like, I love you this much, but Bash I love this much. So
so great.
But so they got that, and I'm getting ready for so I have this idea. So I had somebody else asking for another cutting board. Right?
Oh wow! See, I knew it, dude. You were going to be inundated by cutting boards now.
Which is, you know what though? But like, so I'm using it as an excuse to come up with experiments, right? So I have this idea. So I did one of the first ones I did was that chevron cutting board. Yep. But doing the chevron was a pain in the butt. It was clamped up horribly.
Yeah.
Like I felt like the seams were really good. I fixed it all, but like I felt like they could be tighter. And I came up with an idea on how to come up with a jig to clamp it all together with. So I'm going to try to it's super simple. So I'm going to try to knock that out this weekend and then try to do the glue up for it. So because I want to do this board and I want to use like Paduke for the first time.
Yes.
Paduke.
Paduke.
Use the Paduke.
It's funny, I didn't know it was called Paduke when I was first started this thing. I was calling it Paddock.
Oh.
Because it looks like Paddock, right? It's Padauk, so it doesn't look like Paduke. Like it doesn't. I don't know. In my head, it looked like Paddock. So
I'm okay if you want to call it Paddock. That's fine, dude. That's totally fine. So like I got a lot going on in the shop that I need to knock out this weekend. I really want to get to carving this TIE Fighter table because next weekend Jackie's going on a girls trip, and a buddy of mine is actually I'm shipping the kids to grandma's, and so a buddy of mine is coming by, and he wants to make a base for his fish tank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to help him with that, and that's going to be like a weekend project. So this is going to be pretty big. And he's an engineer, so I can't wait to see how he's designed this thing because it's going to be overly complicated and not at all know anything about wood joinery. So it's going to be great. So
you ready to talk about your newest tool purchase?
Oh man, yeah.
You ready to talk about it?
I mean, I'm like I have so much guilt behind this tool because it was so expensive. But I feel like, I mean, I don't have a problem talking about it because I know my wife doesn't listen to this podcast.
Wait, she doesn't know that you bought it?
No, she knows that I bought it. But
okay.
She doesn't know the specifics of like how much it cost or like what I actually bought or like how big it actually is.
Yeah.
And she'll get the clue when she realizes how hard I'm working in the next week or two
maybe we should let people guess what it is. Maybe we should like make this a thing where like, can you guess what Luke is buying? Yeah,
okay, you could do that. I'll give you a hint. It's over $1,000.
Okay, over $1,000.
And it's new. It's new. It's not. New. It's not purchased
used
off of Craigslist or Facebook because I've been looking for one for months and I've never seen one that was worth buying. So it only says to me that like a saw stop, like this is the kind of tool people buy and keep, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And yeah. So
if you guys can guess it, let us know. Send us a message on Instagram or send us a text on our text thread and or our text line. And leave us funny messages on that text line, and you just might get played on this podcast, by the way. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Because it takes voicemails too, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Oh, okay.
So, but look, like people could send us I don't know. People will figure it out. People are clever. Look, we don't need to overthink any of this, So, anyways, the tool stuff's great, but like on all the notes of the things that I wanted to talk about this week, because because I'm looking at the clock, right?
I know we're running out of time.
We're running out of time. We got like 10 minutes left maximum. So the other things that are on my list, okay, is that I have a really weird Elvis experience that happened today.
Okay.
And then I have a good knock knock joke that had the kids on the floor laughing.
Let's hear the knock knock joke first.
Okay, knock knock.
Who's there?
I eat mop.
I eat mop who?
You're disgusting, man. You poo eater.
That's gross. Jesus.
There's like 6 or 8 kids at the bus stop this morning, and I told that joke to one of the little girls, and they were on the ground, dude. It was like the greatest stand-up finale of all time. That was the response I got this morning.
Straight out of Def Jam, they're up there freaking out.
Yeah, dude, they were, freaking out. I eat my poo. I was like, oh, you're disgusting.
Oh, Jesus, dude.
But the weird Elvis thing I happened to me today is he had a poop boner.
What the hell, dude? Again, this is the poop section of the podcast, I guess.
Well, look, I pick up dog shit like twice a day, every day, and like today he's taking a deuce and he's got a massive boner. And I was like, oh my God, he looked so uncomfortable, right? And like he's got the lipstick way out, and he's just like I'm like, dude, you're pushing too hard if you've got a boner. I'm like whatever is in you that you're worried about coming out, I'm like, I'm not looking forward to it.
So at least we waited till the end of the podcast this time to talk about it.
I mean, but like, have you ever had a boner when you were pooping? I haven't.
No, not. That's something I can be pretty sure of. Never happened.
Dude, I didn't even know poop boners were a thing, man. Jesus, Elvis. So,
oh, dude, that's awesome.
This is look. I think the people who enjoy this podcast most are my parents, right? Because they're like, you never tell us any of these stories.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I don't know what context poop boners comes in. Like,
when do you bring that
up?
Hey,
Dad, by the way, Elvis had a poop boner today when he was taking a shit. Like, how do you work that into conversation? Like, whereas in the podcast, it just works. It's not that I don't want to tell them.
Yeah, I don't know where you would fit that in, where exactly that falls in. Oh, yeah. Jesus, dude.
I should have taken a picture of it because I could have just traced it out, and then we could have T-shirts made. Poop boner.
I'm dying.
I can't wait.
Now.
Somebody's gonna message me this week and be like, "I've had poop boners." Like, you haven't?
Jesus. All right, dude. Well, hey, this is something new.
Did you have anything else you missed?
No, I think that was it. I think we're done. Mentions, dude. Is there anybody you got? We have people. Fine. We have Patreons.
Oh, we do,
dude. Can you believe? Yes. I don't know if we will after this week, but we have Patreons as of right now.
We had them last week. Wait, let me see if I can pull it up on my phone.
Oh, Jesus, dude.
Wait, my member? No. Oh, dude, because I think I'm a Patreon of my own podcast, so I'm a Patreon of it. But no,
wait. How much? How much are you contributing?
I'm contributing more than anyone else is. That's for sure. I can't. I just want to get that free shirt, or the free hat or whatever the hell it was. I can't even remember, dude. But But no. So Kyle Foot from
Footworks.
Footworks. I always want to say Footman Woodworks.
I always want to say Foot Clan because it reminds me of the Foot Clan from
from
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The Foot. Yeah, Kyle.
He would be. Yeah, he would be a great Ninja Turtle villain.
Oh, he would. Oh, that would be awesome. Somebody.
You remember those dudes? Yeah. Do you remember those dudes though that got mutated to like a rhinoceros and a warthog?
Yes.
He'd be one of those dudes.
Yeah, with the mullet, with the full-on mullet and the handlebar mustache. Oh, yes. Jesus. Yeah, so Kyle, thank you so much, man. You're the man. We appreciate you supporting. That's Kyle Foot from Footworks Woodworks.
And then Matthew from the Wooden Mustache. And I can't pronounce his last name off the top of my head, but it starts with a G and it looks French. So
yeah.
Grossant. I don't know.
Something like that.
But no, he's which is surprising because on Instagram he's my arch nemesis. So
I love that you said that. I told you should send him a monocle because I picture him with a monocle and that mustache, and it would just be like the perfect villain. You
realize though that the two patrons we have so far both have mustaches. So
yes.
Maybe we should cater towards our heavy mustache leaning crowd.
Yes, dude. But thank you guys so much for being patrons. We really appreciate it. And if anybody else wants to support this shit show, feel free to step up and do that because we have things that we're going to do in the future, like give you better audio. We're going to try and sign up for a better audio service. So it's something that we want to take your guys' money and support that. And there's going to be other things down the road. So we appreciate you guys.
Oh, and I wanted to give a shout out to some people this week. I wanted to give a shout out to Lee from Regal Street. That dude posted the most forehead slapping thing I've seen in a long time this week, which was his 2-miter sled. But basically, he's not doing a table saw sled anymore. He basically has a miter gauge in both tracks, and he put a piece of wood between them with a replaceable insert. And now he could do. It's perfectly 90 every time, or he could do multiple angles.
Wow.
It was so stupidly smart. I hate Lee for thinking of it before me. Screw you, Lee. And then Jamie, I don't know, he's on YouTube from Inspire Woodcraft. I don't know if you ever check him out.
No, I haven't.
This dude, he posts the best woodworking tips. Like everything he posts is basically like you feel dumb for not knowing you could do things that way because it's so simple. So I binged like a ton of his videos before, and then he took like, it would seem like a 6-month break, but he's been posting like multiple times a week. So Jamie and Inspire Woodcraft, if you haven't checked him out yet, check that guy out too. He's the win of the week for me on YouTube. So
nice.
And Lee won Instagram this week. So
Lee always wins Instagram.
Screw you, Lee.
Screw you, Lee. No, I'm just kidding. We love Lee. And check out his Friday videos. I do. I love Lee. He's the man. But for me, I would say I want to shoot out some of the podcasts that I've been listening to recently. The Working Hands podcast, the Behind the Maker podcast, and my one of my other favorite ones is Axe and Iron podcast. You guys go check out those 2 podcasts. Those 3 are great maker podcasts out there in the community. I know there's other ones out there to go listen to as well, but those are 3 I wanted to highlight because I enjoy them very much. So go check them out, and support support some maker this week. You know what I mean? Like do that. Find somebody out there and just support them. That'd be great.
Yeah, and if you want to shout out on this podcast, just become a Patreon.
There you go. Become a Patreon.
Pay us for it. So, just kidding. Not kidding. But just anyways, you know what I mean.
All right,
thanks,
man.
Guys.
Yeah, let's get out of here on that note. Stay tuned next week for another great episode of The Jointery. And find us on Patreon. And where else? What else? Is that it?
Oh, I stopped paying attention. Sorry. Instagram.
Yeah.
Man, we have not even posted anything on TikTok. We have a website, but Ben doesn't have a bio on it.
Yes.
We've got YouTube, Spotify, Apple,
Yeah, all those places.
You'll find us.
Yeah, thanks again, guys. We appreciate it. We love you. Until next week on the Jointery Podcast.
Balls, balls, balls!
This has been a ConMan creative production. Text us anytime at 908 768 2664 or send us a message on our Instagram, thejointery podcast. You can find Ben at Condorosa Creations or Luke at Luke in the Garage, everywhere that social media is sold. That's garage, not garage. Say it properly.